Hi all, and welcome to UL Sports Uncovered, the show that takes you on and off the field with everything UL Sports, breaking down all the latest headlines with unrivaled access and exclusive interviews. I'm Scott Cunningham here with an action-packed show for you today. Here's what's coming up. In this week's episode, we'll be taking an in-depth look into niche sports at UEL, shining a light on some of the great stories and people involved. Me and my great team of reporters will break down all the stories over the next half an hour, so sit back and enjoy the show. To our first story of the day, UEL's American football team had a change of training venue due to unforeseen circumstances. We sent our reporter Sam Few down to investigate.
As one of the UEL sports clubs that play away from Sportstock, the mixed American football team perhaps don't get the coverage that they deserve. Tonight, due to problems with their original training venue, they have been forced to come here to Sportstock. Before training, we caught up with president and quarterback Connor Facey and rookies Tatum Etienne Springer and Miller Lane Williams.
Facey has been part of the UEL American football team since his first year at UEL and spoke with us about adapting their training to the new environment.
It's a tough session because we were supposed to be in our first week of padded practice, which means a lot of tackling, a lot of safe tackling to make sure all of the new players, all the rookies, don't get injured. They stay safe, heads up tackling so they don't break a neck or injure anyone else. We've been given and granted access to the outside pitch at Sportstock on Sunday instead of our usual training session today, or what would have been yesterday. But now we're here and we'll be on one of the courts from 6 until 7. Working more fundamentals of running the ball and protecting the ball.
Having swapped to the USA for UEL, rookie Etienne Springer credits the social aspect of the sport in helping her to settle into the team.
I think we're settling in well. It's started to warm up now the last few weeks. I've got a few rookies in my class, so that helps just being able to see each other on a daily basis. We're all very vocal, we talk all the time, so whether it's on Facebook or anything like that, we're always interacting with one another.
Fellow rookie Lane Williams came from a non-sporting background but found his head was turned by the appeal of American football.
I've never really been into sport growing up, and then I came here and I was like, I want to get involved, and American football seemed like the way to go, so I signed up, yeah.
With a healthy mix of leadership, experience and fresh faces in the squad, the UEL American football team's popularity is likely to grow with success. Sam Few, UEL Sports Uncovered.
To rugby now, and our reporter Adam Payne recently travelled down to East London Rugby Club to delve into the overpopulation of UEL's men's rugby.
UEL's Rugby Club have had a steady increase in participation over the past couple of years. Prior to training tonight, I spoke to UEL's Vice-Captain Harry Walker, who gave me an insight into the club's Rugby Sevens aspirations, the direction the club is heading, and what more could be done.
Normally what we try to do when there's more than enough players for one squad, we try to take people to a merit competition, and that's so because we don't have enough for two teams, we still want people getting involved because they've worked hard to come to training. But over the summer we also want to reward them with game time when people who aren't as interested in playing because they've got exams and things like that to come and start playing. So this Sevens gives a different alternative to a game because obviously it's a different format, and it gives people opportunities who wouldn't normally get into the 15 side. Well, it's definitely positive because the university as a whole isn't too rugby mad. Like, I think in most other unis, rugby is the top sport. because you have like the big like semi-pro leagues that you can get up to in bucks. But at UEL it's like basketball and football. I think that's just from the area in general. But to see the numbers grow again from last year, which they grew last year as well with my first year, and to have another influx of first years shows hopefully that the recruitment's going in the right direction and that the numbers are going in the right direction. I think during the playing season we could advertise a bit more. We really went full force over the summer to get people to notice the rugby team, and over Freshers Week we really like publicised it really hard. But then when we got this large influx of players, we sort of took a step back. So I think moving on to next term maybe, and definitely next year, we should start, we should continue to advertise throughout the year, because people, if they miss out on Freshers Week, then they think that's it, but it's not. They can come and join anytime during the year.
The formation of the Sevens team has all the hallmarks of boosting the university's rugby status, and with the right advertisement, who knows where this UEL rugby team could go next. Adam Payne, UEL Sports Uncovered.
In slightly less positive news, we sent our reporter Dan Grimes down to explore the recent discontinuation of UEL women's futsal team.
One of the teams that has seen mixed fortunes here at UEL is the futsal team. Whilst the men's team has seen growing numbers in participation and moderate success, the women's team has struggled to the point of cancellation. Here talking more about that topic is Misha Orr.
Mostly I think I enjoyed the fact that it adds towards my 11-a-side game. It was fun, it was quick, fast-paced. You learn a bit more than you do in a normal game in terms of ball control. Participation levels were good when they're good. It's good fun because everyone's there, everyone's having fun, it's a laugh. So I think that's what I enjoyed most about it, just the enjoyability of the sport. I found out at my 11-a-side football training, speaking to some of the girls that used to play on the team last year, and I was asking if we were going to be playing again this year, and I was told that it was no longer. I was disappointed, not just for myself, for the other girls that play only futsal and not 11-a-side, because now they don't have a chance to get their fun, enjoy what they do here, enjoy the social bit of the sport. So that's how disappointed I was. And obviously, I'm going to miss playing. Obviously, when we did play and had a full team, we won a lot of games, so it is a bit disappointing, yeah.
Although she acknowledged that it may be difficult, Misha did have some suggestions on how this kind of thing could be prevented in the future.
I think if we raised awareness a little bit and maybe just changed a few things, maybe training times or specific things in training, things like that might have helped make some girls want to stay a bit more. Or I think things could have changed, a few things, but things that are out of our hands, if you know what I mean. Like, you can't really force somebody to enjoy futsal when they're tired from playing 11-a-side for uni and outside of uni as well. It's hard to persuade somebody to do that. It's got to have the right promotion and have the right, I think what I'm looking for is like, you need something to help people want to stay more, because obviously it's a Saturday that people have to play, we have to play games on. So some people work and other things come into play, so it does make it hard. It makes an easy choice for players in terms of games. So unless there's something there to help us want to be there a bit more, you know, it's hard to get the players to stay there.
So for now, the university will carry on without a women's futsal team, although there is still hope that this can change. Dan Grimes, UEL Sports Uncovered.
And now I'm thrilled to announce we can go live to our reporter Bill Martin, who's at the Sports Dock, trying out wheelchair cricket for the first time.
Thanks, Scott. Yes, today I'm at the UEL Sports Dock where I'm joined by Brad. Brad, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name's Brad Green and I'm a part of the UK Wheelchair Cricket Association.
And what are we going to be doing today?
We're going to be playing a version of wheelchair cricket. Wheelchair cricket is a brand new sport, about 18 months old, created by the UK Wheelchair Cricket Association. So we're just going to go through some basics and have a bit of fun.
Okay, great. Let's get into it.
So how does wheelchair cricket work? It's 2 teams of 6, 2 substitutes per team, with 20 overs and 1 inning per team. To bowl, you can throw the ball over the head rotation, much like in standard cricket, or you can throw the ball in a dodgeball-like fashion, but still overhead. Now, you can have a roll-up, or you can be standing still when you're bowling. Moving on to batting. To bat, you can stand anywhere in the wicket area, but if the ball hits the chair, then that's a CBW and you are out. You can score runs by hitting the walls along the floor. It's up to the discretion of the umpire, but it's typically accepted that if you get a 6, you hit the back wall without the ball bouncing, and it's a 4 if the ball bounces before it hits the back wall. Side walls on the varying sections and degree of length will matter to 1, 2 and 3 runs respectively.
And now I'm joined by Itty, a third-year sports science student. Itty, you're one of the able-bodied players on the team. How have you found playing wheelchair cricket?
It's been a different experience. Playing cricket my whole life. I'm so used to just standing up and stuff, sitting on a chair and throwing the balls a bit different. It's a bit more tiring when I first started off, but yeah, it's opened my eyes to another perspective on the sport.
And you've been doing it since the start. How has it started this early in January this year, correct? So how has it changed from January to now, as it's a brand new sport here at UEL?
It's gained a lot more. It's gained a larger audience since we started in January. We've got our first game against the UK Association at the end of November. So we've got to that point where we can actually play now, and the club's developed to a point to play an actual game.
And what's the overall ability level like at UEL? How many players come along?
Well, usually we get around 5 to 6 people, but in total I think we have like 13, 14 people who actually come. So yeah, the ability is what it is. Sometimes you get a really good player, sometimes you get a really bad player.
What's the main difference you see between playing normal cricket and wheelchair cricket?
I think it's more, as an able-bodied person, it's a challenge for any cricketer because there's a lot, you fatigue much quicker because you're always on the chair, so it's a bit tougher. It's more of an endurance sport. There's huge differences, but that's probably one of the biggest factors because you get tired really quickly.
And that's just about it. Playing wheelchair cricket for the first time is absolutely great fun. I completely recommend it to anyone here at UEL. That's enough for me. Back to you, Scott.
Sticking with disability sport now, and our reporter Sam Few travelled down to wheelchair basketball training to find out more about how the club is run.
We came down tonight expecting a full-on wheelchair basketball session, but as you can see, they're fairly low on numbers. Nevertheless, we spoke to player Sam McGrath, who gave us an insight into the club and why people should get involved.
For all niche sports at UEL, promotion and awareness are crucial to their profiles. McGrath called for help from the university in promoting wheelchair basketball and touched on the club's development.
Over the last couple of years, we've created a club and that was widely picked up. However, we've seen a decline. So we've tried using social media, extra training sessions and stuff like that to try and get people involved. And that's an ongoing thing really, but promotion is massive and we've not been able to get that as much as we wanted to this year. So one thing we may look for is more support from the university in a way to allow other people from different clubs maybe to come and join our sessions, let them know when our training sessions are, so then they'll bring their mates, because that's how the club was created. It was created based on a few mates coming and having a laugh. So yeah, I think that's what, it's word of mouth as well. So word of mouth's a massive thing for us. It's about getting people to the sessions, and once they get here they enjoy it and they'll come back week in, week out. It was something different. I'd never tried it before. I'd seen it played and it looked fun. As I said, it was a group of mates that created the club, and then from that we have a 5-time Paralympic coach who coaches us week in, week out. We've had a player who's gone on to play in Germany. He's played for GB, but he's now playing professional basketball in Germany. We've had several players who have represented GB play for us as well. So it's been really good to actually get other people involved.
McGrath talked about success stories from UEL and why people should get involved in the sport.
Study UEL is massive. Not so much in this country, like there are leagues. We have got a player who plays in the Prem in England, so he travels up and down the country representing his club. But on a wider scale it's growing. Like I said, we've got a player in Germany, and that was based on people seeing him play, him advertising himself and then a German club approaching him to come and play for them. So I think on a wider scale it's growing. It's fun, it's enjoyable, anyone can play. It's very inclusive, it's a very good and engaging sport, and I'd highly recommend it. It's very good fitness as well.
The picture of UEL wheelchair basketball is becoming clearer, and with inclusion at its heart, there are plenty of chairs to be filled. Sam Few, UEL Sports Uncovered.
Time for an ad break now, but just enough time for an exciting announcement from UEL Cricket.
Hi, my name is Arfan Akram. I'm the head coach for University of East London Cricket Club. Absolutely delighted to have our first ever women's cricket team. Training's Tuesday nights at Sportstock, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. All the sessions are free, encouraging all the girls to come. We've also got some games coming up, 2 tournaments, one in December and one in January, and hopefully we'll have a team and a squad to enjoy all the sessions.
Some great news there for any UEL aspiring women cricketers. To rowing now, and our reporter Omar Alumi spoke to Patrick Wilkins about what drew him to the rowing club.
The UEL Rowing Club are one of the more successful clubs on campus, however do not get the coverage they deserve. I spoke with member of the UEL Rowing Club, Patrick Wilkins, who gave us his insight on the matter.
So I started about 6-7 years ago. I did it with the Scouts where I came from, and I did a fixed gig seat. And then I thought, I quite like this, so I joined my home club, and then it just kind of went from there really. So I was rowing with them for quite a bit, and then I kind of found this uni, came here, and then immediately thought, definitely going to join the rowing team. And it just kind of went from there really. I think really we've just got to keep doing what we're doing, just keep rowing out in the mornings. I think we've got a lot more exposure this year, because we've got the sports blogs post, we've got you guys doing the films. We've got another person who wants to do photography with our team, so we think really just trying to get our name out there and try and build up the membership numbers.
Over the years, UEL have been known to produce some top athletes within rowing, such as the likes of John Collins and Alan Sinclair, who both represented the GB team in both European and World Championships, picking up gold and silver medals on the way. Paddy spoke about how those two athletes inspired him in his rowing career.
I'd say it's definitely inspired by, because obviously they came here when the rowing club was just being started. They built the club up really well. I know they raced at Henley. Obviously now Alan Sinclair, I know, is doing the GB stuff. So it's really kind of big boots to fill, and it's just really happy to try and row in their name, really.
Paddy then began to speak about UEL's biggest competitors this season, also including his personal targets and his team's targets for the upcoming campaign.
Obviously we've got, for the head race this weekend, we've got Curlew Rowing Club and Globe Rowing Club, definitely as two of the big heavy hitters in the race. Obviously we've got the varsity team, which is Anglian Ruskin, and then as far as Bucks goes, the teams that everyone wants to beat is always going to be Brooks, Durham and Newcastle. They're the real heavy hitters, and they're going to be for a long time. So I think rowing in a Bucks final, we did it quite a bit last year. We got 4 of our boats through to the F final, but we'd like to see kind of gradual improvement in the club. So we'd like to kind of see maybe a C or a D final, maybe a B final. I think the women's freshers team this year, we've got a really good chance of getting them to a good final. So I know that I'd personally like to get a 2K time that's sub 7 minutes. So that's 2,000 metres on the rowing machine in under 7 minutes. I'd really want to get that. And I think really we just want to grow the numbers out for next year, because we know that at the end of this year we lose a lot of our senior team. So we want to kind of build up the freshers to take the spots and to just try and keep it going really.
The UEL Rowing Club are really pushing out the boat this year. So if you're interested in rowing, head on down to UEL's campus, and Patrick's your man.
And finally, to women's basketball news, we sent our reporter Hugh Dexter down to interview Tope Ali Balogun to explore the reasons why there hasn't been any additional teams made despite the great success of the first team.
I caught up with UEL women's basketball coach Tope Ali Balogun to gain an insight into his experience with the team, as well as his thoughts on why there's yet to be a second team developed despite the women's success over the previous few years. Coach Tope also offered up his thoughts on what could be done to improve these issues regarding participation and interest with the team, as well as his future goals for the state of women's basketball at UEL.
This is now the 3rd season I'm going to be in the program. So played quite a lot of games in that time, like, well, almost 30 plus now with cup competitions and everything like that. So it's been a little while, yeah. I think just at the moment, numbers is the biggest issue. Like, there's more girls approaching every year, but we're not quite there yet with numbers and quality too. Because at the moment, women's basketball is one of the performance programs, so it's really important that we sustain a high level. So when we introduce the second team, it has to be like a good level too. Really, I think it's just exposure. The more people that know about it, the better people that will come, so the level will go up and the numbers will go up with that too. We have some scholars at the moment from all over the place, but the more scholars we have, the better the program will be for them. In terms of participation, we need to have more teams. Like, if we can get to a second team that's really strong and fighting their way up the ranks in Bucks, that would be fantastic. In terms of the first group, like, we need to be winning Premier South. Like, that's really got to be our goal, to be consistent from that regard. And in the bigger scheme of things, to be on the same level as Loughborough in terms of women's basketball and winning the whole of Bucks. That's really the way we should be moving.
For anybody interested in getting involved with this exciting young squad, please contact Coach Tope or the Sports Doc for more information regarding the team.
That's going to wrap up today's episode of UEL Sports Uncovered. On behalf of me and all my reporters, thanks for tuning in, and we hope to see you again soon.